Welcome to Geeks Corner. I'm Mr. Daps.
I'm Katie.
And we are not in the corner.
We're not.
Yet again.
Again. It's too hot, guys.
It is very warm.
Please understand, it is just so hot.
At about 5:30, 6 o'clock, I went out to the studio, and it was just brutal. And it was kind of one of those moments where you're just like, I don't think this is going to work. And so we'll be back in the studio soon, maybe when we get used to the weather or something. But
this weather came out of nowhere, honestly.
This has been an adventure. So we brought back the Tiki Torch wannabe, and we are out in the garden with the bugs on the screen. Actually, there's lots of bugs, and so we are getting eaten alive for you. Hopefully, we sound okay.
Genuinely.
There's helicopters flying by. Like this is almost a war zone between the bugs and the helicopter. But
yeah, the spider's moving.
That's exciting.
Oh my god.
There's a big spider above us as well. So this is
a big daddy spider.
This is very, it's probably not a good one to have too close to you. But so we'll keep spider watch. This will be a lot of fun.
Oh my god, the bugs multiplied.
There's a lot of these little guys. But
I will say, I just want to say this because I think it's funny. I have been doing this show for almost 8 years now. I still somehow, almost every week, try to find a way to make Mr. Daps laugh while we're doing the intro.
Oh, yeah.
I just feel like typically we say something stupid to one another and try to make the other one like laugh to get in like the Geeks Corner zone.
Yep.
Tonight was one of those nights where we both just kind of were having a little giggly moment. No. I have off at home. Didn't I think about it?
I have some. I just didn't. Yeah.
The Tiki Torch.
All right.
Is citronella.
We did bring back a regular thing though. Is what's on Mr. Daps' desk.
Oh my god.
And we brought this book, which I'm currently reading through. Sorry, it's hard to read or see because of the light being very bright.
You have to do the influencer thing where you called. Like.
Yeah, but don't be out of focus.
It was a joke.
Well, that totally worked. Actually,
it's why the influencers do it.
What's it say?
Easy peasy, puppy squeezy.
Okay, easy peasy, puppy squeezy. And if you're in our Patreon, you'll know exactly why that is. Now we look terrible. That was so good. Let's do this. Hey, it worked. You did. Oh, it only worked for a second. Now we look very bright. I'm sorry. I don't know what to do about this.
It is what it is, guys.
This is the problem. It's because we messed with the white balance with the book. You know, like, let's see what happens there. A little bit better.
Hi, Wendy.
Tiny bit better.
If you hear a dog barking, that's just Wendy.
She's not happy that she's not a part of this.
She's not happy that she couldn't stay in Neverland.
The important part of the book is that if you want to see who this book is for, you have to go to our Patreon because that is where...
Isn't the book for us?
Yes, but you'll see on Patreon.
I haven't taught.
Go to Patreon and you can see. And hopefully it's a wonderful thing. But should we get into the show? As we look all washed out. This is so great.
Yeah, why not?
All right. First off, we have a new popcorn bucket at Disneyland, and we get to show it to you tonight. It is the Disneyland Railroad popcorn bucket. Mickey Mouse is on it.
Conductor Mickey.
It has a little whistle.
It's not as loud as I thought it was going to be.
And it doesn't have the dual tones or tritones that I was expecting. But yeah, this is it's cute.
Because Mr. Daps has the coming in 2019 Mickey Minnie's Runaway Railway train whistle. That is loud. Like that is.
It sounds like a train.
Don't be in the same room as Mr. Daps.
I will say though, this is cool because if you look, the wheels.
Chugga chugga.
Yeah, you can roll it. It's this opens up, I think somehow.
Well, to give the popcorn.
To give you room for the popcorn. I'm not going to break it because it's not mine, but this folds back for popcorn somehow. And I don't know. I can see the hinge. Yeah, we'll just.
I don't know either.
It'll be fine. But no, it's very cute, and it's a little bit over $30, and it's on sale at Disneyland. It did not sell as fast today as I think they were expecting it because there weren't insanely massive lines. But it's very fun. I'm a little bit disappointed that it's not slightly bigger because I would love to be able to put it on my train track in the garden right there. Like, wouldn't that be cool? I think it'd be
That's
cool.
just the most Mr. Daps thing you could have
That
said.
is a very Mr. Daps thing to say, but I think it would have been great and it would have been a lot of fun. All right, other news coming from the Disneyland Resort. We now know Fantasmic will be returning in the spring of 2024.
In the spring.
What will not be returning is the Fantasmic Dragon, also known as Maleficent, also known as Murphy. And what do you think of this?
I have an opinion, and I think
listening.
that was I'm trying to figure out a nice way to say what I'm trying to say. And
Okay.
that nice thing that I'm trying to say is they have done Fantasmic without the dragon before. So to guests who might act like this is the end of Fantasmic as we know it and everything's doomed, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be okay. Personally, I don't think the show is going to change in a very large way. I think Maleficent might be projected.
I think you get B mode, maybe an enhanced B mode with it, but I think it'll be great. I do think, though, on Geeks Corner, what we should do every week that it's there is we should come up with our own version of how the show happens at that, the way we did
originally
2009.
Yeah.
So it's been a few years, 14 years. That 14 years? Yeah. But for those of you who don't know, look up our Fantasmic with Dragon first show or something like that video. And you can see how we decided to take a cutout piece of paper Maleficent on a popsicle stick and have her do the choreography that we knew from Fantasmic, and people weren't happy.
This is
but we could do it with like different things.
Before I met Mr. Daps, he was very edgy. And that was Mr. Daps being edgy. He said, "Oops, I put a dragon on a popsicle stick." Like that was edgy, Mr.
But it
Daps.
was supposed to come and it didn't, and I just thought it was funny.
But it's hilarious. I personally love
it. It's dumb, but it's
I
funny.
live for it.
Mhm.
I think that everyone who's angry should just remember, ooh, what if I said something controversial?
Ooh, what if you said something controversial?
At least we don't have Hollywood Studios Dragon.
I like Hollywood Studios Dragon.
I think it's
That's even more controversial.
I think it's very interesting from a puppetry standpoint.
I love it. I think it moves in a very fun way. Like it's great.
But I think that
I would be fine with that, to be honest.
I don't know how we would fit it on the Rivers of America.
It's what we used to have.
The puppet?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Was I alive?
You were young, but yes, in the early 2000s, up till 2008 or something. That was the dragon we all had.
I wasn't alive. I was born in.
But I do think there's a lot to be said for the way that moves and interacts with Mickey. Like I love that style. Well, I do also think that people need to remember that it's lucky we're getting the show back at all this quickly. And if I had to make a guess, they're starting from scratch on a dragon. Yeah. I don't know how many years it took them, but I'm betting it wasn't under 1. And so I think at some point you kind of go, we have to get the show back because people want the show. The dragon's going to take longer than the amount of time people are going to wait for the show. Let's just give them the show in this other version, and they'll get the dragon when they get the dragon.
Look at the dragon.
Like they said, Maleficent's still coming back, so it'll be fine.
Okay, so here's my idea.
Okay, your idea.
Instead of Big Puppet Hollywood Studios Dragon.
Yeah.
Rah! Give us
like a
this
Kermit
kind of
version.
Okay. Something that people here might not know about me, because I don't bring it up very often, is I was a professional puppeteer for 2 years. So if Disney needs somebody,
you can do it.
It's been probably 10 years since I've been a puppeteer, but I can do it again.
So here's what we need from you, though, in the chat, is we need you to come up with ideas. If Maleficent Dragon is not there,
what about you?
Who is Mickey fighting instead? So Uncle Deadly is a great example. Put more in the chat. We will revisit this, and next spring when Fantasmic comes, maybe we'll do like a villain of the month or something that we will play on Geeks Corner. Just that part, the "This is my dream" part, when Maleficent shows up, and it'll be great.
But imagine, will be great. This is my dream. Like, imagine.
You do realize this is Daps. We don't have Disney budgets.
I was
In
gonna-
fact, we don't have any budget.
I was gonna edit in like a.
Oh, you want to
prequel.
add the? Why don't you just make the noises? That would be much more. That's the way to do it. That's
I'm
the
gonna
way to
hold
do it.
2 red crayons and go.
That's
Yeah,
there we go.
nailed it.
Muppet Fantasmic. I like that. But yeah, we'll take that section
Muppet
and once a month, maybe it'll be the first of the month or something. But we will make a version of Fantasmic that's a fun. This is our dream.
This is my dream.
But I do think it is important to remember that it's a lot of heart and work that went up in smoke, quite literally, when the Fantasmic Dragon did. And that's not something you can just put together. It's not putting Lego back together.
I was not laughing at that.
It's literally rebuilding something. So yes, I'm sure the dragon will be back at some point, but I think it's also better for them to get the show going for people who've saved up for a very long time to go to Disneyland, and they're going to get 90% of the show. And it's still, honestly, if you don't know any better, it's still pretty impressive.
It's like when you go on Rise of the Resistance and it's in V mode.
Yeah, there you go.
Also, Mickey is just fighting Itzy in a trench coat.
There you go. We'll do that one too.
We're doing
we'll film it.
What is it? Muppet
when
Man?
everybody's in town. Muppet Man. There you go.
We're gonna do
All
Muppet
right.
Man.
We're gonna move right along because we spent a lot of time.
As
on
the
that, I wasn't
bug.
expecting.
Yeah.
Murders. Only murders in the building.
Murder.
There's been a murder in Savannah,
There's been a murder.
but we have a new trailer for Only Murders in the Building, and it's here in about a week and a half, 2 weeks. And what did you think of this new trailer, Katie?
I'm so excited. What I love about Only Murders in the Building is that even just watching a trailer like this, you start to be like, I bet this person did it. Oh, I bet that person
See, that's
did
what you
it.
did.
What did you do?
I literally went, so nobody we've seen did anything, because they always just like mess with you the whole time. Like, that's the joy of this show, is they're just messing with you and having a blast doing it.
To go back to Murder in Savannah, it's always the person you most medium suspect.
Which I think is kind of what they do in Only Murders in the Building.
Yeah, because it's a like Murder, She Wrote, everything trope of like, can't be the person you suspect the most because that's too obvious. It can't be this person you suspect the least because that's also too obvious.
And it's not like Columbo, where it's always the person that attaches themselves to Columbo. They're like, I'm going to help you with your investigation. And every time, I don't get it.
That's actually one of my favorite podcasts just today, like murder mystery type thing. And they said, okay, it's not going to be a mystery who did it. You are going to have to figure out how it happened. They said, it's like Columbo. We're going to tell you who did it in the first 2 minutes.
I do like that. Yeah.
But they're like, it just takes the detectives to figure out how instead of figuring out who.
Yes. But even then, you know how they did it in Columbo.
And you knew how they did it in, well, kind of. They summoned it.
Anyway, Only Murders in the Building. What did you think of the trailer?
I'm excited. I love Paul Rudd.
I think we're getting musicals.
Because it's the writers or the music writers from Hairspray,
La La
Land, and Waitress.
Yeah. Like, I think that's going to be, and I'm assuming it has to do with Oliver's show.
Yeah.
Like, but I still think that's very fun. And I'm curious to what this show is going to be, because I think that will be fun as well. And
I just love when shows like this get bigger in their first season or their first 2 seasons or whatever.
And they get money.
At that, and also celebrities get excited and they want to be a part of it.
But can they really replace Nathan Lane?
No.
Like, to me, Nathan Lane is still like peak guests, whatever.
But it's like they're getting Paul Rudd, they're getting Meryl Streep.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me, I'm so sorry, I just talk about whatever I'm watching at the moment. So that's my own corner. But I'm currently watching The Bear on Hulu. And in season 2, there were so many celebrities that had loved season 1 so much that they just went, can we just do something in it? And so you have like Jamie Lee Curtis, Bob Odenkirk, John Mulaney, like you have all these Sarah Paulson, all these random people that are like, can I do this? And so I love to just see shows like this because these celebrities are great anyway, and they're always great at what they do. But when it's something that they're excited about and something that they're like, I want to do this show, which I can imagine
it just adds so much.
I can imagine Paul Rudd did. Paul Rudd's a nerd.
I feel like Paul Rudd just does anything. He's like, no, it's fun. Like that's his
I
how
don't
he
think
approaches
Paul
things.
Rudd does anything that he does not think is fun.
I love that. And I'm looking forward to the musical portions of this. And speaking of musicals, this part, if you would have asked me 1 week ago if we would be talking about this topic involving musicals, yes, I would have said you were crazy. But there is going to be a Star Trek musical episode.
Yeah.
For Star Trek Strange New Worlds.
That's what we're doing. Yeah.
One, just the concept. What do you think of a concept of a Star Trek musical? Because I will admit, I have a little bit of a.
I feel like it's when they do like the Grey's Anatomy musical episodes.
Yeah, see, but that's completely fanciful. And I do think one thing Star Trek has done through the years is created a hopeful look at what the future would look like. And I'm like, is this going to be the one where it's suddenly like any sense of reality gets thrown out the window? And
you know what I hope it is?
That could be good. That could be bad. I don't know.
What is your favorite musical episode of an otherwise musicless sitcom?
Scrubs.
Yep. I hope it's like Scrubs.
Like, and I think it is. Like it's called Subspace Rhapsody. So I think they're gonna like.
I think it's gonna be satirical.
Have Star Trek jargon that's like, oh, this is why it happens, and I think that it'll be fun. It'll be fine. Like they made it work for the crossover between animated Lower Decks and Strange New Worlds this last week. They released early, and that was fun. But I think it's going to be hilarious.
I love it. The poster. This is the thing. This is how you know. The
poster sells it.
This is how you know what you're getting into. The poster is camp.
Mm-hmm.
It is so campy. It knows what it's doing.
It reminded me immediately of the old like Singing in the Rain, like all of the musicals from that era. And I think it's gonna be great. Like it'll be a lot of fun to see.
Mama, it's camp. I'm so excited.
That's yeah.
I love camp. I love musicals.
So you're gonna watch this one episode.
I love
of Star
sci-fi.
Trek.
I love Star Trek.
There you go.
Yeah. I will say, I'm gonna say this in GEEKS CORNER Plus, never mind.
Okay. Do it. Let's keep talking about music. Queenie and the Jambalaya Jazz are now performing nightly.
Yeah.
3 times a night on the rivers of America on a barge.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to break this story, which is amazing because we don't break stories, but awesome.
We don't break stories, we do put them back together.
Right? What do you think about Queenie coming to the rivers of America?
2 words, y'all. And if you've been watching the show long enough, you know what my 2 words are going to be.
Kinetic energy.
Kinetic energy.
True. I will make this is a slight sidestep from our topic, but I took my nephews and niece to Disneyland a week or 2 ago, and I will tell you, every time there was kinetic energy, they were zoned in on it. Like the greatest example was when we were going through Galaxy's Edge. Galaxy's Edge. And
that's actually just the sound effects from Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah. This is what it sounds like when you're not at Disneyland. They do some magic that makes it sound like TIE fighters, but really it's just a helicopter. But no, when we were going through Galaxy's Edge and they had the guy doing the roast, like
Yes, the guy at Ronto Roasters. I'm so sorry. I thought you said there was like a guy at Star Wars Land roasting people.
Sure, why not?
I'd pay money for that.
They definitely, it just was like all 3 of them were like, and that's from 18 months to 6 years old, and that was very fun to see. But I agree with you. I think it's great to bring the life to Rivers of America. I like that they're using the fountains. Mm-hmm. It's a good, relaxing way to spend your evening at Disneyland that you don't necessarily have to wait in a line for, that you don't have to do anything super difficult other than walk to Rivers of America to enjoy and get some great jazz and music from Princess DeBroke.
I also think that this fits in perfectly with the theming of New Orleans Square and Rivers of America.
Especially where it's going.
Yeah. I think that it is just this perfect blend because to me, yes, I love kinetic energy, but kinetic energy, if it is out of place or it doesn't make sense for where it is, it doesn't matter.
Yep.
It doesn't matter if it's kinetic energy. If you're going to put a...
Kinetic energy.
Yeah. If you're going to put a... You ever just hope that's not a police helicopter?
It's not.
But do you ever just like? Wouldn't that be? That'd be such a crazy episode of Geeks Corner. But like if you had like a rocket ship in Frontierland, wouldn't make sense. It would actually take you out of the theming more than put you into it or make it enjoyable. I think that this just makes sense. I think it's awesome. I think it makes families happy. I honestly think that everything about this is a win.
You know what I want next?
Excited. What?
Saturday night swing dancing.
It's been years.
Also, live bands in Tomorrowland.
Yeah. It's been years since that too.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
But I think it happens.
That's live TV, baby.
There you go.
That's showbiz, baby.
That is true. But no, I think it's fantastic. And I would love to see those other live options come back as well. And like I loved watching years ago the Fab Four in Tomorrowland and Tomorrowland Terrace. And, you know, they do their sets that as the night progressed, you would see the Beatles go through their history. So it's like early Beatles, the first one with their suits, and then the second one was Sgt. Pepper. And then third one was kind of like an Abbey Road, Let It Be ish breaking up era.
Solos.
And well, they would wear their solo clothes for the third set. Well, was there a fourth set?
There was a fourth set. I thought that's when they all went.
Maybe that was it.
That's when they did their solo stuff.
But it was great. Like, what was their third set then?
I don't know. You know the Beatles better than I do.
I thought they did 3 sets, but
if this was Taylor Swift in her eras, do that easy.
I know. Oh, we're out of focus. Look at that. We're on a roll tonight. We're doing great.
I'm scared.
But the helicopters have stopped, so we'll see.
No, they haven't.
I do love the idea of a tuba band in Toontown. Do you remember when they used to do the tuba band in downtown Disney?
It's not what a tuba sounds like. No.
I think it was always Christmas week or something, and they'd have a tuba band with hundreds of tubas, maybe 800 tubas. I don't know.
I will say,
down by ESPN Zone.
Our friend Taryn is not in the chat tonight, so I'm going to say it for them. The theme of downtown Disney, which is not going to be the theme very much longer, because we've seen the West End getting remodeled, and it's already going away. The theme of downtown Disney is leaves.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. If you look at the pavement.
I was waiting for something tuba to come up. I'm like,
if you look at the pavement, leaves. If you look at the planters, leaves. You look at the monorail station, leaves. You look at the trash cans, leaves. Everywhere you look.
I would love to see the monorail station updated, though.
Yeah. I still want to see, and this is, to me, when I was a kid, I always really was obsessed with the Eeyore sign in the Indiana Jones queue. And then I saw it, and then I stopped obsessing over it. To me, I need to see, so that I can stop obsessing over it. I need to see the Home Alone 2 Lost in New York DVD or VHS that is in the monorail station.
First we had helicopters. Now we have fireworks. We are on a roll.
Which are illegal. Where we are.
In theory. You never.
Yes, it's you leaves. And when you're here, your family. They have to keep the Home Alone VHS. They do.
One would think.
I've never seen Home Alone 2 Lost in New York.
It's on Disney Plus.
Is it?
You could watch it.
I could watch it.
I'm not going to watch it again. It's not my favorite. I don't dislike it per se, but it's not one that I'm like, oh, I want to watch. Like, I like the original a lot.
Okay. But yes, look around downtown Disney. Well, look around the east end of downtown Disney. The west end is not so much leaves anymore, but leaves.
There you go.
Our friend Taryn pointed that out to me, and ever since they said that, I've been like, whoa, leaves.
And now it's kind of looking a little bit like new Epcot.
It does. The new planter that's down by the Mickey statue. I was like,
which we should have an article up about it, I think, very soon. Finally, The Haunted Mansion is coming to theaters this week. I have already seen it. I was able to go to the world premiere a couple weeks ago, and we thought we would spend a minute or 3 speaking about this new movie without spoilers for those of you that are worried. But first off, my review's up on the website. You can read the whole thing if you'd like.
Spoilerless.
Second, I feel like as time goes by, I might be in the minority, but I really liked it. As I was saying this morning in an event, this is a nod to the past Disney family movies
Mhm.
that probably won't get any awards, but it's just a good ride and it makes you happy.
Mhm.
Like you're just having fun. I feel like they did a really nice job of really writing a love story or a tribute, you could say, to the Haunted Mansion attraction. Like they really put a lot of care into that. There's obviously things that I could critique, but at the end of the day, I don't think this movie was made to, like, that's not why they made this movie.
No.
We got to hear from the director at the world premiere, and he basically said, I love Pirates of the Caribbean and I love Haunted Mansion. I would go there on my breaks when I was working. I think it was Disney California Adventure.
He opened Grizzly
And-
River Run.
There you go. And he basically just made the movie he wanted from the attraction that he loved, which is Haunted Mansion. And I think the heart really comes through. And there's some other side story stuff that happens that has heart in a completely different way that really surprised me, because it's dealing with some, I feel like a lot of the classic decent Disney movies that were live action often had kind of like your lesson or your moral to the story. And this definitely has that. And see, they come in twos. So now we know what's going on. They're just sort of like,
Fans go marching two by
yeah,
two.
basically. Like it's the same two that just doing the thing over and over again. So like, oh, you're on YouTube, it's fine. And,
Yeah, they're taking our
they
YouTube
see the light
show
from the sky. That's absolutely what it is.
into consideration.
But no, I think it's a fun ride. I think it's one that you go in expecting to, like, if you like the attraction, you're gonna like the movie most likely. And if you want to look for the faults, you'll find them. Like there's things that you could find that you could critique or whatever. However, I really do think they did a decent job of being like, hey, this is a movie that's true to the attraction that we love.
All right, let me say some things.
Fire away.
I'm getting into more hot takes tonight.
Okay.
More spicy, Katie. And I'm scared of the helicopter, so I gotta say this quick because they're gonna try and stop me.
Probably.
I love 2003's Disney Haunted Mansion.
It is not that movie.
It's not. No. But I think for a very long time, people have been very unkind to that film. And now we're seeing something that it's not just Disney fans that do this. It is fans of lots of things that do this. It's Star Wars, it's Indiana Jones, it's like any fandom that you can imagine. There is the one thing, and the fans go, we hate this thing. We never wanted this thing. It's terrible. And then a new thing comes out and they go, I loved the old thing. That is way better than this new thing. This new thing is terrible. I'm seeing that happen. People like 2003 Haunted Mansion was a masterpiece. I can't believe they did this. We watched that for the first time during the pandemic. You can go back on this little YouTube channel. You can go type. You can find us watching that movie live. You can see how much I genuinely love that film. I went, oh my God, this looks like the attraction. I love it. But I love that film. I can almost guarantee I'm going to love this film.
You will.
I think I will because you know me very well. And you said, I liked it. And I said, well, I like it. And you went, you'll love it. And like, that was our first conversation. But I want people to remember it's okay to love two things at once. It's okay to like two things at once. It's also okay to have your opinions and your reservations about a film. But don't just hate it because it's not this thing over here.
Well, I do think it's funny too, because I feel like a lot of time people are like, oh, I just like this. And then 6 months to a year or whatever later, like, oh, I love this so much. But no, I do think it's one of those movies that if you just go in just to have fun, like get your candy and your popcorn or whatever, like it's just a fun film. It's not one that's meant to change the world. And it does have some messages of the heart that you will connect probably, but it's a very enjoyable.
It's an attraction film.
And the thing I liked about it is the people that were with me that were also from our industry, like we were all enjoying it together, and that was fun as well. But welcome to Geeks Corner Plus. We'll keep going.
I love the Country Bear movie. I love the Haunted Mansion movie with Eddie Murphy. I've never seen Pirates of the Caribbean,
Well,
but
and
that's fine.
that's the one I would actually connect it to the most. Is I feel like how they connected the original Pirates of the Caribbean with the attraction. Like I remember when it came out, sitting in the theater laughing at things that were connecting, like the dog with the key, that were directly lifted from the attraction, and everybody around me in Minnesota was like, I don't get it. Like that's
They
what
didn't know the
this movie's
attraction.
going to do. Is if you don't know the attraction, a lot of it's just going to be like, oh, that's cool, but you're not going to get the connection to Madame Leota or the hallway or whatever. Like there's lots of things that you could find.
I just remember there's another. I also love Muppets Haunted Mansion.
I actually
so
feel
far,
like
I
feel
have
like
loved.
this is closest in true to the attraction as Muppets Haunted Mansion.
I have loved every Haunted Mansion film that has come out so far. Let's go 3 for 3. We got to get those bears. I can't do a Christopher Walken impression.
We do need to watch that movie again. That's a good.
It's a good movie, guys.
It's a fun movie. Like I think that's the difference.
I like it.
I think there's a difference between being critical and being a critic. Like, and I think everybody wants to be a critic, and just as opposed to being like, hey, I really like this movie. These parts could have done better. I know they're similar, but anything specifically from Walt Disney World Haunted Mansion, I'm just gonna say go see the movie, and those questions will be answered in the movie. Like there's also, things that you will appreciate from this movie.
Welcome to GEEKS CORNER.
And another Passover of 2 helicopters. So exciting. I hope there's 2. Like, it'd be weird if this time there wasn't. Yeah, I see the other one there.
You're looking for this. So to say this thing I was going to say before we got into, I said, I'll talk about that GEEKS CORNER Plus. I'm holding it up here. I remember.
Go for
it. So I am a person with a few tattoos. 3 of them are Star Wars related, as I've talked about in other shows. And I think that genuinely, one of the greatest moments of my tattooed life has come to me within the last week. And that is Mr. Daps' nephew walking up and going, is that Star Wars? And I went, yeah, Star Wars. He goes, is that R2-D2? And I was like, yeah, it is. And then you went, show him your arm. So I showed him my arm. And you went, what's that? And he went, the ship. I don't think that anything's ever going to top that.
It was pretty darn cute.
I have never had a reaction that great to my tattoos.
That is true.
It was, but then he was very confused because I have a pinup that came first next to Princess Leia.
Didn't get that one.
He was like, I don't understand. That is not. He was like, so who's that? I was like, it's just a picture someone drew. And he's like,
okay. Wasn't as much a fan of that one.
He was like, make that Star Wars.
That is true. All right, Katie, what should people do?
You should go to dapsmagic.com. Check out all the Disney and geek news as it happens. Follow us, subscribe to our mailing list, because we keep getting the inside scoop on some stories. And you don't want to miss it. Also, find our Patreon, where you could find very cute things.
With 4 legs. Also, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We will have coverage of Mini Walk, which I attended earlier today, and some other things going up very soon you won't want to miss, along with, hopefully next spring, some fun Fantasmic videos. We will see. If you like the idea, let us know in the comments, and we will make it happen. But that is all the time that we have for you this week, so we will see you round the corner.
Bye!